Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between mountains and forests, there lived two men named Viktor and Marcus. Viktor was a quiet man, always lost in thought, while Marcus was disciplined and calm, no matter what happened around him. Though they lived very different lives, both men were searching for the same thing, the meaning of life and how to live it well. Viktor had read many books by philosophers who called themselves existentialists. These thinkers said that life has no built-in meaning. The universe is vast and silent, and it does not care about our hopes or fears. At first, this idea frightened Viktor. If life had no meaning, what was the point of anything? But as he kept reading, he realized this could also be a kind of freedom. If life has no set meaning, then he could create his own. Every choice he made, every action he took, gave his life purpose. Viktor began to see himself as an artist, painting meaning onto the blank canvas of existence. Marcus, on the other hand, followed the teachings of the ancient Stoics. They believed that the world operates by a rational order, and though we cannot control everything that happens, we can control how we respond. For Marcus, life was not about searching for meaning. It was about living with virtue, courage, and wisdom, no matter the circumstances. When bad things happened, he did not despair. Instead, he asked himself, "What can I learn from this? How can I grow stronger?" One year, a great storm swept through the village. The rivers overflowed, the crops were destroyed, and many homes were lost. The people were afraid and desperate. Viktor saw the suffering around him and felt a deep sadness. He gathered the villagers and spoke to them. "Life is cruel and unpredictable," he said. "But in this chaos, we must choose to stand together. We must create our own hope, our own strength. The storm does not define us. We define ourselves by how we face it." Inspired by his words, the villagers worked together, rebuilding what was lost and helping those in need. Marcus, too, saw the destruction, but his response was different. He remained calm, even as the winds howled. "The storm is not in our control," he told the people. "But our actions are. We cannot change what has happened, but we can choose patience, resilience, and kindness." He led by example, showing them how to endure hardship without complaint. Slowly, the people began to adopt his steady way of thinking. As time passed, the village recovered. But the people often wondered, who was right? Viktor, who believed that meaning comes from within, or Marcus, who taught that peace comes from accepting what cannot be changed? The truth was, both philosophies offered something valuable. Existentialism taught that life is what we make of it. We are free, but with that freedom comes responsibility. If we want our lives to matter, we must choose our path with courage. Viktor's way was passionate, full of emotion and personal truth. Stoicism, on the other hand, taught that suffering is part of life, and our power lies in how we face it. Marcus showed that by mastering our emotions and focusing on what we can control, we find an unshakable peace. His way was calm, steady, and disciplined. In the end, the villagers realized they did not have to choose one over the other. Some days they needed Viktor's fire, the reminder that they could shape their own destiny. Other days they needed Marcus's calm, the wisdom to endure what they could not change. And so, the two philosophies lived side by side in the village, not as enemies, but as guides. Because the best philosophy is not one that claims to have all the answers, but one that helps us live with both our freedom and our limits. The story of Viktor and Marcus reminds us that life is complex. Sometimes we must create our own meaning. Other times we must accept what is and find strength in stillness. The choice is not between existentialism and Stoicism, but in knowing when to listen to each. And so, dear viewer, the question remains, which philosophy speaks to you? Are you the painter of your own meaning, or the steady mountain that stands unmoved by the storm? Or perhaps, like the villagers, you find wisdom in both.